Have you ever wondered how power plants work? Well, I'm gonna explain right away. First, we have the coal-fired power plant, which basically just burns coal underwater to make the water evaporate, and using the pressure that's made out of the vapor, they spin a turbine really quickly, which goes into the generator and spins, and goes from kinetic energy to electricity. Secondly, we have the hydroelectric power plant. The hydroelectric power plant is kind of like this, but not exactly like it because it doesn't evaporate the water. It just uses the water. You know the spinning treadmill-like thing? Underwaters, like made out of wood that you see in cartoons and stuff? Well, you use exactly that to scoop up the water, and when you scoop up the water from the strong waterfalls, then it starts spinning, right? Because of the strong currents just going down and then hitting it, and using this spinning mechanism again, it spins the generator and creates electricity. Thirdly, we have the nuclear power plant. I love it. And well, there are two types of nuclear power plants. The first one is pretty common, nuclear fission power plant. So they get uranium-235 and then, well, they fuse them, like they make them hit together, and it creates a chain reaction which creates heat, and using the heat they evaporate the water, and the vapor just basically spins the turbine and the generator and stuff to create electricity. And now we got the nuclear fusion power plant. How that works is we basically have this donut-shaped thing called the torus, and there are two gun-like automatic firing things, except they're not guns. They're actually basically like guns, but they fire uranium-235 nucleus. And when that happens, you know how they spin in opposite directions, right? And then at least someone's got to hit themselves, and then because of that they collide, which actually doesn't create a chain reaction. It creates a lot of energy, a lot of heat by colliding, and we basically use that heat to create energy too, like electricity and stuff. And then we have the solar, like the solar energy, right? The solar power plant, the solar panels like stuff. Well, there are actually two types. The first type is, the solar panels. They heat up and it creates electricity. Simple. But the second one is actually pretty cool because way cooler, because they actually use like mirrors and lenses and stuff to they make it shaped like a bowl, and then they concentrate the sunlight into one place, and there they evaporate water, and then they create electricity. Genius. And then there are the cons, right? Pros and the cons. First, I'll talk about the pros. The coal-fired power plant is pretty effective. It's pretty smart. It's pretty effective. And we got the hydroelectric power plant. It's like waste-free. It's like fresh energy. Exactly what we want. But, if it's a strong waterfall, it's very efficient and very clean and fresh. We got the nuclear power plant. Both of them are, very, very effective because they're literally creating well, the first fusion one is literally creating the heat that's produced when a nuke explodes. And the fusion one, it's really smart. And, like, the fuel is only one thing, which is uranium-235. I know it's very rare in nature, but, if the nanotechnologies get even more advanced, we can make the atoms ourselves. Billions of them. Which would be very, very good. And make it very efficient. And now, we got the solar energy. It is, like, very fresh, but not perfectly fresh. Now we got the cons, right? The coal-fired one, it produces a lot of carbon dioxide and air pollution and stuff, which is really bad for the environment and the human body. And now, also, we got the hydroelectric power plant. There's literally no cons, according to the information I gained. And, well, as long as it's not made out of iron, I don't think there's any cons, but I'm not too sure. I'll do more research and study on it. And how about the nuclear power plant? The fission one? Well, I mean, it's not too expensive. Like, it's pretty cheap, just like coal-fired one. Like, it's as cheap as the coal-fired one, I think. But it is very unstable. Like, uranium-235 is literally the material that's used to power nukes other than thorium. Which, if it gets too unstable and explodes, it's gonna be like a nuke. And now we got the nuclear fusion power plant, right? It's too expensive to make, and it's too hard to resist all that heat, like the plasma and stuff, like 15 million degrees. You can reach that temperature, or 105 million sometimes, which is really, really dangerous. It's way hotter than the core of the sun. But yeah, it's most of the materials just break because of all the heat. And now we got the solar energy. Well, both of them takes up like a lot of space. Like, you gotta find a place where there's a lot of sun, right? But yeah, first, that's the problem, right? It's not efficient. It can go away if if a giant lump of cloud appears, or if there's a storm, or if there's a tornado, or if it's nighttime. Which means it's very inefficient, both of them. And secondly, they take up a lot of space. Like, a lot. We're talking about a lot of space right here. So, if you want some more educational videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.